Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again. Now, Cecilia, got a loaded show today.
Of course, it's loaded with the NBA and, of course, with the fact that Harry Kane says he wants to leave Tottenham at the end of the season.
Whoops.
Yes, this season, not next season, at the end of the season. He wants out. And, of course, all the Premier League clubs are actually checking their wallets right now if they can afford this 27-year-old.
Right,
Manchester
Man City,
United,
Chelsea, all these clubs are lying in wait to see if they can get the signature of this prolific, talismanic striker. We'll talk more about this later on the show. Let's move on now to still in England. The Blues and the Foxes, just 48 hours after facing off in the final of the FA Cup, they'll clash again, this time in a top 4 battle.
It's going to be top. Will it be Chelsea or Leicester? Tuchel can afford to lose all in 1 week. He dropped 3 points against Arsenal. And, of course, the top 4 hope were diminishing.
Chelsea
and then he lost the FA Cup final to Leicester. Now he's facing Leicester again for another chance at the top 4. So he needs to get this, or everything will be over in May.
Exactly.
There's the Champions League still to come. I don't envy this guy at all.
Also
also on the program, the 2021 postseason is finally here. But then before we get to the playoff, there's going to be the play-in tournament, and it starts today. So you're going to be having 4 teams in each conference playing for the final 2 spots in the first round.
Of course.
Lakers, Warriors, one of them.
That's the headline matchup in the play-in for the NBA. Of course, there's also the Boston Celtics and Washington Wizards as well. Be doing a comprehensive preview of the NBA playing games later on the show, as a matter of fact, shortly. But before then, Cecilia, let's start from home and talk about what went down over the weekend. The NWFL in a community project, bringing players, officials, and the society together.
Yeah, it was a big event on Sunday where you have, as you mentioned, players, 16 players across the 14 top flight league in the Nigerian Women's Football League. You also have kids, girls, boys. Barcelona Academy, I saw them. And the referee, Bemisola, she's a student. She's a referee.
Awesome.
She officiated in the game, and that's her mom. She dreamt of becoming a referee, and she finally got the dream.
Fantastic.
She was also part of those that came in. And, of course, you have all the players like Monday Gift and all of them coming around. And the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, all the way from Kigali, just came down, and he came for the event. He actually came with a daughter. Then you have so many parents coming with their kids just to watch these girls and see them. So the community event was awesome. I mean
look at that. That's an example.
They want to play football.
They'll never get a better opportunity to mix with the players than in situations like this. Most times they go to stadiums and watch. They don't get close to the players, but with community events like this, they get the opportunities. It's awesome, and I like this. I wish many more bodies. In terms of football, will do this going forward.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, this report, put together, just take a look at how the whole event happened, the penalties that went down, the exhibition game, and also you have representative from the Spanish Embassy, La Liga, all of them coming together to just have a wonderful event on Sunday.
With the completion of the Nigeria Women Football League Premiership season, the NWFL is not done yet. In partnership with La Liga, the board is bringing more excitement and fun to the game with the Show Your Other Side Challenge featuring 16 players selected from the 14 clubs, including league champions Rivers Angels. At the Elegbeta Sports Complex, Lagos Island, the players got the opportunity to test their skills in ball juggling and penalty shootout, while kids as young as 3 years old joined in the fun and were reluctant to leave the field for the big girls. The presence of Nigeria Football Federation President Amaju Pinnick adds glamour to the colorful event.
I just came from Kigali, very tired, but I said I'm a supporter and I had to come. I killed my daughter, so we are very happy, no regrets. We're here. So we play with the girls. I'm owing them 200,000. I have to go and look for the money to pay them. I deliberately didn't score those goals, so let them know. I just want them to have fun.
Journalists are not left out. Highlight of the event is an exhibition game.
I'm really grateful to the organizers, the La Liga and the Nigeria Premier League. I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers for bringing this to Lagos State, for showcasing our talent to the world. And I just want to say I'm very, very grateful.
It's bring people to know the players, you understand? Because they've not been seeing us, they've not been watching us, and they don't know who we are. So this brought us out.
A representative from the Spanish Embassy, Juan Antonio Moreno, is happy with the growth of women's football in Nigeria.
Women's football has the strength to transform the society. It can empower women, show them that their boundaries are much further away than they think.
La Liga ambassador Mutiu Adepoju and former superstar Falcons captain Precious Dede are amazed with the stars on display.
I'm happy, excited, and to see them display skills, and which I didn't believe. To this level. The level has gone so much up, and I think they've really done very well.
Beginning to be jealous because when I was playing and it wasn't like this. I think they are really doing very good. They are really doing greatly, great on the girls.
From all indications, the bond between these players and the young girls will not end here on the field, but also see more parents encouraging the girl child to realize the dream of becoming great footballers in future.
All right, just the girls there. I just hope that some of them will get to see them maybe 10 years time or 10, 15 years time. We'll need to see some of those girls playing football in the future.
Just not those faces. So mental note of those faces I've seen and it'll be very interesting.
Shemilare Adenekon is here in the studio. How you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's good to have you, back again. Welcome back. We're not alone. Like we said and promised yesterday, Cecilia, we got a basketball analyst finally joining us. I couldn't make it last time out because of technical issues. But Ayotunde Onobolu is ready, and he's going to help us alongside, of course, Shemi. I'll be doing a preview of the NBA playing. The regular season is over. We're in the postseason, but before the playoffs actually start, we've got the playing. I love this. I don't care what the players are talking about.
I had the person who came up with it.
It's an exciting end to the season. Shemi, first of all, for you, the playing, what do you make of it?
We saw it last season, and it's very exciting to have it again this season. Obviously, the teams finishing in 7th and 8th complain that they don't want it because normally, traditionally,
which is a fair,
traditionally,
come on, they had 72 games, not 82, so they should know that. The numbers of games, that's what warranted the play-in because the Olympics is coming. They needed to shorten the season, and that's the essence of the whole play-in.
Okay, so Ayotunde is ready?
Ayotunde will join us this morning. Ayotunde, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi. Great, so let's just quickly get into it. You're talking about the play-in. Were you in support of the play-in tournament? Were you one of those who said, fire whoever came up with it?
I mean, look, no. I totally supported this play-in tournament when I first heard it. We didn't know the details. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what the intricacies would be like. But once it became clear, I was like, yo, this is great content because
awesome.
We get to see great firepower right at the end of the season, because I knew that with 72 regular season games as against the regular 82 games, which we're accustomed to over the years, there would be a reduced margin for error. And I know that at the very end, there'll be teams jostling to, fight for positions 7 to 10. And that was exactly what happened up until the final day of the regular season. It was exactly like that. You saw the Warriors going against the Memphis Grizzlies. You saw the Los Angeles Lakers, trying to cement their place, hoping that the Portland Trailblazers will lose, and so they won't have to go through the rigors of the playing tournament. But at the end of the day, I thought it was great fun. And when it starts later on tonight, fireworks all the way. Fireworks all the way.
Charlotte Hornets, Indiana Pacers, we start off with that.
Fireworks indeed, Cecilia. And you already mentioned the Grizzlies as well will be in action. The Charlotte Hornets. And let's just see the fixtures for the playing. Of course, the big one is still tomorrow, but we'll do our own little preview today. But in the Eastern Conference, you have the Boston Celtics and the Washington Wizards. They'll be in action. There's also Indiana versus Charlotte, which is fantastic. But for tomorrow, it's going to be the Lakers and the Warriors. That's the one everyone wants to talk about.
The Grizzlies.
Imagine these two sides meeting in the play-in, not in the proper playoffs there, but it is what it is. And there's also the Grizzlies and the Spurs. Shemi, quickly, let me come to you before we go back to Ayotunde. The Warriors and the Lakers.
Yeah, that's the most anticipated game, and everybody really wants to talk about that, especially LeBron coming out and speaking on Steph Curry, saying that we're going against this season's MVP. We're blessed as fans to get this early because you're seeing it's Steph versus LeBron, King James. Now, the Lakers fans should be pretty worried because they haven't had their team, their full team, the AD and even Schroeder to LeBron James. They haven't had them fully fit and playing all season. Now, the Warriors are hot. And in a one-game playoff, obviously the seventh, whoever loses this match still has another chance. But in a one game, I think it's going to go with the Warriors.
Oh, wow.
Ayo, let's come to you, AY. I mean, he says the Warriors, not the Lakers. But we understand that with LeBron James coming back from injury and that little tweak or something he had, what he said is really not a problem. And of course, he has talked about how great Steph Curry can be. But we know that without other players, Steph Curry, there's not much he can do. But Lakers have full complement of other players actually contributing and making plays, which usually help LeBron. So tomorrow night, where would this game go? Is it going to be in favor of Warriors and Lakers, just as Shemilore mentioned?
Says Warriors.
First and foremost, we need to realize that any team that has LeBron James in their roster is favorites to progress. It doesn't matter who the other team. I think the only time LeBron has played and he went into any particular game as the underdog, his team went in as the underdogs, was against the Warriors dynasty in 2016, which. Yeah, against KD and Steph Curry and the likes. Now I know LeBron James just came back from the ankle injury. He appeared to tweak the injury, but obviously, if you studied the circumstances that surrounded that particular game, it was their final game of the season, and it was a game they needed to win, hoping that the Portland Trailblazers would lose. But LeBron did not tweak that ankle tweak in inverted commas now until it was clear that the Portland Trailblazers were miles away from the Denver Nuggets, and so there was no point anymore for LeBron to play that game.
Exactly.
I don't believe that LeBron really re-injured or tweaked his ankle injury. It was all to add to the narrative. Also, LeBron coming out to say Steph Curry is this season's MVP. He might have a point with that, but I think it's all mind games. It's trying to hype up the game and let us know, look, maybe if we fall short, we will know we fell short to the hottest player in the game right now. But make no mistake, LeBron James, Anthony Davis on the floor, the defensive team, that is still one of the elite defensive teams in the league, regardless of how bad they play in the absence of LeBron and AD. Make no mistake, Steph Curry is going to face a lot of double teams. At some point, he will face a lot of triple teams. And if they stifle him early and get into an early advantage, this is not the kind of game where you want to go down by 15 and hope to rally back to win. It will be very difficult because the margin of error continually reduces with every passing minute in the game. So I'm not going to stake my neck anywhere and say this team is going to win. but I feel this one is going to be really, really tough.
you can't pick a team.
Come on.
You can't pick a team.
Come on. Anyways, Aitune is trying to play safe there. We understand. It's all good. But let's get to listen now to LeBron James making the case for Steph Curry being the regular season MVP.
Cannot replicate a Game 7, especially, with the first game. And I've always treated Game 1s like a fill-out game, but obviously you don't have that luxury in a play-in game. So, we just got to play to the best of our ability. We got to play Lakers basketball. We got to defend at a high rate. We're playing versus, in my opinion, the MVP of our league this year, and Steph. So, we got to be, prepared for everything that they have. They got championship DNA as well, and they've been there. They know what it takes and what it feels like to be in pressure games. So everybody counting them out this year. Everybody saying that, now that Clay is hurt, can Steph lead a team on his own? What is he going to be able to do? Can he carry a team on his own? Can he carry a team into the postseason? Can he keep a team afloat? He's done that and more. I think he scored like 30 points in the second half of games like 8 times this year or 9 times this year. If you're looking for MVP, if Steph is not on Golden State's team, then,
we're obviously any team he's been on, and those matchups where our careers are connected because we played at the highest level. And if we do play on Wednesday, it'll be a different scenario, but another chapter in it. But at the end of the day, you expect greatness, and that's the part I've enjoyed so much about playing in finals against him, against those Cleveland teams and those games that matter. It just brings out another level of intensity and excitement and a sense of urgency about it, because you know how good you have to play in order to win games like that. So kind of scenario with just a different situation with the play-in type situation.
There you go. We got to listen to LeBron James and, of course, Steph Curry. Before we went on a break, we're talking about Steph Curry. LeBron making the case for Steph as the MVP. Of course, he's ended the season as a top scorer at 31.8 points per game. That's the second time he's won this title, and is the oldest player alongside Michael Jordan to win this particular title. Shamila, for you, MVP regular season,
LeBron's saying it's Steph, but for me, throughout this season, I've always said it's between Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. Okay. But recency bias.
Joel Embiid, that's
recency bias has me with likes of Steph, even Julius Randle at the Knicks, CP3, but it has to be Steph because you can't go on this run.
CP3
at the Suns. Even CP3 at the Suns, what he's done for the Suns, at Phoenix, what he's done at Phoenix, Chris Paul, has been fantastic.
Yeah,
So
he's in with a shout.
No, he's not in with. For me, I think the recency bias has that effect of us considering the likes of Julius Randle, Chris Paul, and now Steph Curry. But for me, it has to be Steph. Winning the scoring title with 32 points per game on average now. The just home stretch that he's had the last 30 games, really making Golden State, making them interesting, because they're not going to go into the playoffs and really compete for the title, but making them interesting on his own. Really. So,
let's before we go on a break, we'll be going on a break any moment from now. I don't know. Anyway, just in 30 seconds, if you can, who will you pick for MVP if you are asked to pick right now?
I mean, like Shemilore said, a lot of names come into play. Nikola Jokic has been ultra consistent, hasn't missed a single game, didn't miss a single game in the regular season. Joel Embiid has been monstrous, but come on, man. Remove Steph from the Warriors, there will be a lottery team. We won't even know anything about them. The fact that he played with a lot of guys who were relatively unknown, I think Steph deserves it. Steph deserves it.
And that's what makes you an MVP,
All
right?
Okay, let's go on a break. We'll be back after this. We're leaving the NBA and coming to Africa, NBA-sponsored Basketball Africa League. That's the ball. And for the Royal Hoopers, they didn't start well. They started badly, losing by as much as 23 points in their first game. But they have opportunity to bounce back. That will be on Thursday against US Monastir. And US Monastir, of course, had a run against
we got to see them in action, Cecilia.
Yes.
And it's safe
It
to
was
say
terrific.
they put a fear of God in a lot of us looking ahead.
Is it GNBC?
Yeah.
It took him out.
Flawless.
It took them out, yeah.
Flawless performance.
Anyways, that's a
Madagascar.
confirmation of the results of the games played yesterday, Cecilia.
You have a
Johannes, yeah, they were in action. They defeated Petroleers 94-76. Zamalek, of course, one of the favorites in this competition, was a 71-55 victory for them over Ferroviario de Maputo. Of course, USM, US Monastir, that's the team from Tunisia. The national team, right? 113-66 over GMBC. Cecilia, what a rush. 5 players in double figures. They're such a well-rounded side.
Anyway, let's quickly come to you. I mean, you saw this game, the way US Monastir play. So it simply means that, yes, it's too early to say who's actually favorites to win the inaugural edition. But it seems when you have an active domestic league, I don't know why I have to go there, but I have to. If you have an active domestic league, because these guys are coming from the back of winning 2 titles just weeks ago, and they're coming into the inaugural edition, where you have some countries where basketball is not even existing in the last 3 seasons when it comes to the league. So it's safe to say US Monastir are safe for the title, and for Rivers Hoopers facing them in their next game, they need to do so much more to stand a chance of even closing in on the result, closing in, not defeating that team.
You know, if I was a coach of a team going into the Basketball African League, I want to take a look at the opposition in front of me. And the first thing I'm asking myself is, which team do we think we can actually destroy on, current circumstances and all of that? All these guys knew that there was no existent league, like you rightly put it, in Nigeria. And so Rivers Hoopers were just going there, not necessarily prepared as much as, a team going to this level of competition should be prepared. And I'm sure every single team in the group, from the Patriots to US Monastir, they all ticked Rivers Hoopers will be the ones we are going to try to destroy. Patriots game could have been worse. It was the opening game of the competition, so there were nerves. You didn't really know what to expect. Rivers Hoopers started pretty well, knocking down, 3-pointers early. But once the Patriots got into the groove and they realized, yo, these guys ain't good, man.
It's game
Let's
over.
get at them. It was all game over. And then we now had an opportunity to see US Monastir, and I was like, holy moly, man.
Yeah.
Like, is this the team we're going up against in this tournament? Like, yo, let's just come home, because the level of preparedness was zero.
Yeah.
No great competition. Apart from Ben Uzo, who showed some flashes of his own self in the first game, I couldn't pick on any other player to say, this is not good. The second unit was dead. Permit my use of the word. Because it was when they came on at the start of the second quarter that the Patriots went on a berserk run.
Yeah.
Like, they went 8 straight unanswered points, and I felt game management was also a problem. I respect Coach Odaudu so much, but I thought when a team goes on an 8-0 run against you, you call it timeout. You try to stop the momentum. That never happened. And so the guys looked dejected, like they lost everything that was close to confidence in them. And, it was unfortunate. And then you look at the remaining 2 teams in the group, and I'm just like, there's a point where you have hope. Just go out there, put in your best, put it all on the line. Make sure that even if you get beaten, it won't be because there was no effort. It will be because you just were not good enough, which is the case for the Rivers Hoopers right now.
Yeah, indeed, was a very, very bad game. Let's get to hear from the coach. You mentioned the coach, Ayatunde. That's Ogodaudu, reflecting on that opening game loss and what they can do ahead of the next game to get a better result.
Oh, well, a lot of turnovers. We turned over the ball so many times. We also did not make enough stops that we were supposed to do. We were turning over the ball on offense, and we're letting them too many easy baskets, too many second chances. And of course, you can't do that against a team like that. They had size. They bullied my players all night long in the paint. Prince Ibe, Brandon Costner, they did a great job finding their teammates. Size was one of the problems. and the only person that could match them, unfortunately, had foul problems and eventually fouled out. My team did well the first 2 quarters. Well, things happened, and the second half, we didn't do too well. Yes, I'm a little bit disappointed because if I had kept up the tempo like we started the first quarter, it would have been a very different game.
River Super's coach speaking, on their opening game loss against the Patriots, BBC of Rwanda. Shemi, quickly, let's just wrap it all up.
I just wanted to quickly stem on what AY was saying in terms of the Hoopers. You're watching Monastir yesterday and you're seeing a fantastic performance by them and you're thinking we're going against them next. Because in our game against the Patriots, we went in front in the first quarter, but since then, it just blew a lead. It went to even, I think, a 29-point lead at one point. But
what was the most obvious flaw that you saw in that game?
The turnovers. About 20 plus or so turnovers. But I'm scared against going into Monastir because it just gives me PTSD of the Olympic Games when we went against America.
Someone is mentioning that again.
So if that's how it turns out yesterday, just let's not make the gap that big.
Okay.
They shouldn't be breaking records on
us.
So
all right.
Closing on the
that's all I ask.
Okay, quickly, before we let you go, I mean, just a final one. What can they do differently? I know you talked about the fact that they can try to just, try and play good and not lose woefully. But what can the coach really do differently to stand a chance of really, play good and get close to Monastir? We can even shock them. Who knows?
Shock.
Things do happen,
Yeah.
It all starts on the defensive end of the floor. You have to hound these guys. You have to make sure there's no breathing space whenever they have possession of the basketball. Number 2, like Shemilore accurately alluded to, you cannot be turning over the basketball that much at this level of the game. Number 3, take away stagnancy from the game. When you have the ball, every other person should be moving. Screens should be set. Get your shooters open. You cannot be playing ISO ball at this level of the game. It won't take you anywhere. You see how the other guys play. They move the ball. The ball is not sticking. Guys are getting open. They're getting the shooters open. That is what the game has become right now. Gone are those days where somebody will have the ball and everybody will just isolate him and let him go to work, collapse the defense. No, everybody must be ready. So there has to be a lot of work done. It's on both ends of the floor.
A lot of work. Thank you so much, Ayo, today for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Cheers, mate. All right. Before we leave basketball, finally, the players are also talking. Ben Ozor and Tyron Sullivan are the 2 standout players for the Rivers Hoopers in the first game against the Patriots. Speaking ahead of Thursday's match against Monastir.
Try to play as aggressive within the scheme of how the refs are going to allow the game to be refed. You know what I mean? So just finding that happy medium and that balance in itself is going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but it's something that we're looking forward to making. So no excuses, but defensively, it's definitely something that is at the top of our bulletin board.
And just to piggyback off of that, like Ben said, we have the mentality at the beginning of the game to start off aggressive. But I definitely think we can step it up even more. And if we're going to do it, we got to do it early so the refs know and the other team knows. But another huge thing is just talking, because there's going to be mistakes. Like I said, this is a fresh team getting together with a lot of new players. So I think to help get us through this and the struggles on defense is just going to be talking it out.
All right, Cecilia, all we can do is wish these guys hopefully
all the best.
Yes. Play better offense and defense against Monastir and perhaps...
No turnovers, please.
Not that many turnovers.
Yeah, not that many. You got to limit that.
Yeah, limits, maybe 7 or 6, not 20 or 10.
Let's get on with the show now.
Okay.
Time is flying.
Time is flying. Quickly, we want to celebrate a legend on the program. There's a former Green Eagles goalkeeper. I mean, he's someone... okay, Muslim was watch him play.
No, we didn't watch him play.
We didn't watch him play.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of this man.
We need to get someone who watched this guy playing to the studio because these guys here, they're just too young. We didn't see him play. But then you celebrate Emmanuel Okala. That's the person we were talking about this morning at 70. Oops. I mean, All-African Games gold medal in 1973, a league champion in 74, 75, 77, FA Cup champions 74, 75, 76, African Cup Winners' Cup 77, African Footballer of the Year in 1970, of course, African champion. That's
the big one.
That's the big one in
1980.
1980. So let's stand up for the GOAT this morning, talking about Emmanuel Okala. He's celebrating his 70th birthday. One of these men have done so much for the country, and they so lit you to celebrate about them. Not really lit you. I'm talking about we don't give them the credit, that they deserve.
We got... Carry on.
Yeah, we don't give them the credit they deserve. We don't put them in that high pedestal, you know, knowing that we have an icon here that we can always go to. Or, you know, more like an ambassador for the game, especially with the growth of football in Nigeria.
I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, there's no doubt. Nothing absolutely takes the legendary status away from this. He's an absolute legend when it comes to football in Nigeria and Africa by extension. And he's been reflecting on his playing days, his career as a footballer. And let's just listen and get to learn a few things from this incredible goalkeeper, Emmanuel Okala.
Tell us about your trophy, that particular trophy.
Yes, is the trophy that I was given by President Mobutu, that gave me for my being the African Footballer of the Year for 76. It was given to me in 1978 in Togo. That is the trophy, African Best Footballer of the Year. First ever African Footballer of the Year. I joined football like every other small child in the village. We started from the village to the school, secondary school. In short, it was in the secondary school that I started keeping as a goalkeeper. Before I was playing at the forward line and defense. But during my secondary school, class 2 in Holy Cross High School, where I schooled before the war, in course of our training in the Colts team, that is the junior team, you know, the secondary school, one of our goalkeepers was not doing well, so our against master, then Sir Obaka of the blessed memory, asked us if any of us can, you know, be at the goal. So I said, yeah. He said, how? He said, I told him in the village, at times I used to stay at the goal and keep the goal. He said, okay, go into the goal. And after that training that day, he told me that from that day, my position will not remain at the goal. That was where he started. And during the war, I joined on the Red Devils. When football was played on regional level, then we had Black Rocks. In 1970, I played for the Red Devils in course of the State Challenge Cup, after which we were knocked out by Abba team, they call Abba Giant Killers. Then Enugu Black Rocks won the championship for East Central State, so they went and represented East Central State in the National Challenge Cup level. And after that, club side football started in this part of the world. And I joined Rangers during the formation. In the course of my stay in Rangers, I joined Rangers in 1970. In 1971, early February, I was the first choice goalkeeper for Amakrekor, now this national league that's being played today. In a match against WNDCC, now 6 Shooting Stars International, I was injured, and my brother, late Cyril Okoseme, continued with the rest of the matches, and we won the Amakrekor. And that was the first major national trophy Rangers International won in course of our championship, and others followed. So I had a great, you know, football career that I can never forget.
Yes, there will be more where this is coming from. So tomorrow we'll continue with the interview. It's a long interview. I hope you guys have learned a whole lot about this man that some of you didn't see playing. I know most people watching watching play, but this guy's here.
I bet a lot of people didn't know he started out as an outfield player.
I didn't know too.
Why does football seem so easy those days? See how we just said, so I went and go for 2 seconds, and then that was it. But yeah, it's good. I like the fact that we're raising awareness on our retired and ex-players, because I feel like we don't really do that enough here. Obviously, we know the ones in the 90s, the Yekinis, and because they were, but going further back, football started before those glory days of the 90s. So it's good that we're really trying to raise awareness.
Absolutely. There's actually this set of them, Shegun Odegbami, you know, Shegun Odegbami is also part of this 1980, Adoke Amisimeka, you know, also part of them. And those ones are still, you know, in football, they're still very much, you know,
Anyways, we have to do a better job of giving these guys their flowers when they can still smell them.
Yes.
Very important. And that's what we're about on the show.
Tai, we're telling us something about you started as...
I'll do that tomorrow. We run out of time. Very similar.
And it ended up
very similar story.
Here, right here in the studio.
Very similar story to Emmanuel Okala's
You're injured. Injury, maybe.
I'll keep that.
The most important thing is he ended up here, right? Okay, there was no medal to celebrate. Let's talk about Harry Kane, who wants to leave Tottenham. Where should he go next? Because he says he wants to leave, and I'm sure they want to cash in and, you know, not just wanting to go for free. I think that's what, of course, the chairman wants to do because he loves money so much. So bring in the cash and it's going to go. And the speculation is likely going to go to Manchester City. That's the club, the right fit right now because Sergio Aguero is leaving. And Man City's got the money. And also they need a top striker. Manchester United, they don't need a top striker right now because they have Martial and
the French Pele.
And the French Pele. They have the French Pele. And of course, they have Edison Cavani. So they wouldn't want to bring in Harry Kane. And then Chelsea, of course, wouldn't need him because they have too many talented strikers that to the extent that some are not even getting the starting, getting to the first 11. So they wouldn't need Harry Kane. That's what I think. What do you guys think?
I think all three of them in their own right need him. Just that Man City maybe need him more because it's quite... Aguero leaves a vacuum and it's going to be very hard for anyone to fill that vacuum. With Man United fans would not want to hear that they don't need Harry Kane because traditionally they've always had at least 2 or 3 fantastic strikers at the club in the glory days. So Man United really... Their problem is either him or Sancho. They know they can't afford both this summer. And with Chelsea, we're going to talk about it later, and playing Leicester, but Chelsea, Werner's not really pulling up trees there. It's he's not really finding the back of the net. They're just, Thomas Tuchel's just making do with what he has.
Well, there's Tammy Abraham. There's Olivier Giroud.
And Thomas Tuchel's made it clear.
Talking about strikers.
He's made it clear. He's made it clear that Tammy Abraham's not in his plans.
Doesn't fancy him.
He doesn't like him. So you need
Why would he like him? I mean, the guy was scoring goals when Lampard was in charge.
That's just the thing. When you change managers, sometimes it doesn't work for certain players, and he's not going to get it looking. So Harry Kane can go to Chelsea as well. I'm not ruling them out. I think he is going to go to Manchester United.
Really?
Honestly speaking, I feel like if Man United want to make a real statement and go back to the Man United way, as they often like to tell us, that is the sort of transfer that Manchester United should be making. Man City, I think, in terms of longevity, Erling Haaland is where they should go.
So
Man City, Haaland.
So Man United for you, right?
Yes, Man United for me.
And Chelsea, what's it for you?
Kane is valued at 150 million
Maybe
quid.
about 150, yeah.
And you think United can actually do that? And you already said it. They can't do those two signings in the summer.
They don't need Sancho. They don't need a Sancho. I think they need more of Harry Kane than Sancho, because Martial is not, I don't know.
The thing is,
I feel like need a backup for Edison Cavani because
in terms of need, I feel they need Sancho more. But in terms of statement and putting fear into everyone else,
that's what you need Harry Kane. That's what they've always done. That's my point. You've got enough younger players. I mean, you have them already. So if you want to make a statement, as you mentioned, the person you should go for is Harry Kane. And I feel Spurs would rather sell to a Manchester United than to Chelsea.
100%.
They wouldn't want to, I mean, London rival club.
But at the end of the day, it depends on who's got the money. And I think City will stomp up the cash if they have to. And we'll have to wait and see. But as it is right now, Harry Kane has not handed in a transfer request. This is just reports are coming in from sources close to the players. We need to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll be doing a preview of the Leicester and Chelsea matchup in the Premier League. Yes, those guys they meet again after what happened in the FA Cup on Saturday. Join us again.
And there's still much in the air. And with that glad tidings, we welcome you to the Amadou Bello Stadium here in Kaduna, our alternate home ground of four-time league champions Kano Pillars. Today they welcome Adamawa United, their first ever opposition in the league this season. The quest to make better the results obtained from the first leg. And if that's not intimidating enough for the visitors, there's the return of the governor and current skipper of the country's football national team, Ahmed Musa. 10 years, 10 months, 10 days, and he's back in the fold. It begins the disparity based on league position about to be amplified. Maybe not. In football, there's always room for upset. And this might just present that rare opportunity for Adamawa United, whatever the case. It's a good piece of reception. Tamara Ezekiel. Across to find Ahmed Musa. Oh, well, his opponent just right at the edge of the penalty area. The referee certainly awarded a free kick. It's going to be interesting to find out who will eventually be saddled with the responsibility. A bit disappointing there for Hadi Usman.
He'll be doing a lot of that today, pocketing and dealing with the attacking threat.
Oh, that's a brilliant first start. And again, the assistant flag goes up from Yobi Juarez. It goes down in the box. The referee points to the sport. Rabiuli goes down, and the conversation now, he takes their penalties. But they've got Musa now, a new sheriff in town. So aside from what would be mild protestation from the Adamawa United players, it would also be the question of who takes this penalty. Would it be Ahmed Musa? Would it be Rabiuli? It could be a case of master apprentice with no relations. Rabiuli steps forward, and for the first time this campaign, he blazes it wide. Poetic justice maybe for Adamawa United. And that was met with a defence, but here's an opportunity to get past from Musa, and this could be one for penalty. And he provides the assist. And the man who seconds earlier missed the penalty, he didn't need a stationary ball to best the goalkeeper. From a national legend to a Kano Pillars legend. And the goal finally comes for Saimei Sugida here. It's taken all of 84 minutes. Rabiuli gets his 8th goal of the campaign. The smile finally on the face of Rabiuli.
Talk about the man who's got the feel of him now, the anger, the anguish he must have felt when he left.
I just didn't want to use that as an excuse because we lost the 2 games, but surely it's reason behind the performances and the results we've had. Physically, it is impossible for them to turn up and play at the intensity and the level that's required because the amount of games. Then you look at the preparation in between. You haven't had the recovery in between. You haven't had the same routine as you normally do. We haven't done the tactical prep in the same way as we've had. So of course, I'm not saying that it didn't affect them, but I was impressed by how professional and how they went about it because they did. There was none of them who complained, and that's one of the big things for me, that we never complain, we never look outwards, we just look at what we can do, how can we maximize the situation, and we tried to do that, but we couldn't get the results. But the players have been good as gold. Now they've had a couple of days off, and we're fresh and ready, and we prepare as normal for these last 2 games.
All right, you're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking ahead of tonight's game against Fulham at Old Trafford. Of course, the Red Devils will be looking to not lose 3 games in a row following what happened against Leicester and Liverpool. Of course, there are other games as well, too, that will go down tonight as we wrap up the Premier League season, match day 37 Yes, Manchester United, Fulham, Southampton, Leeds. Leeds United, what a season they've had, what a return to the Premier League. Brighton against City. Then there's Chelsea against Leicester, inconsequential, exactly. Chelsea-Leicester is going to get our attention right about now, right away.
Or maybe United and Fulham can get our attention tomorrow if United lose 3
exactly.
in a row.
Exactly.
But we'll focus on Chelsea and Leicester tonight.
Perfect opportunity, Shemi, for Chelsea to avenge the FA Cup final loss.
Chelsea have to win. Chelsea really have to win.
Do we use the word condemn?
Yes, that's what it is.
They have to win. The pressure is... If they lose this game, there's serious pressure for them on the final. Serious. So Leicester in the driving seat. Leicester need a draw.
Okay.
If Chelsea draw, they more or less have to win that final. And for Chelsea now, they've got 2 L's in a row, losing to Arsenal, losing to Leicester in the final as well. It's a big deal. I don't know what Thomas Tuchel's going to do, because in that final, everyone got a chance. Everyone played, everyone except from Tammy Abraham. But
who he doesn't fancy anyway.
He doesn't fancy. But this game now is very, very important for Leicester. Well, it could be a thing of, did Leicester have too much fun partying? And was Chelsea prepared enough for them in that Chelsea have a vengeance? But I don't know where. I think I see this match ending in a draw.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I see this match ending in a draw. Honestly.
That would be a tough call for him. Because for Chelsea, because it just happened after this game, he had just 1 left for him to,
Aston Villa.
And that's a very tricky
one
as well.
too, because I think he had the opportunity. He will have opportunity to beat a Leicester because of what happened on Saturday.
Cecilia.
I mean, Leicester will still be celebrating. We've seen videos and pictures of their celebration, and so they would want to be on. Okay.
Carry on.
Okay. They'll obviously be tired from celebration.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard coaches talking about the players got tired. That's why they lose games. Fine. And that might just happen tonight. But I think Thomas Tuchel have had a very, very rough May. This is not what they planned for this month. Expected, you're chasing top 4. You were in 2 cup finals, and now you've lost 1. There's just 1 left, and you have opportunity to stay in that top 4 tonight. So you will obviously want to stay in the top 4 tonight, because if you end up losing everything all in May, it simply means what he has done, the unbeaten run, the clean sheet, it means nothing.
It will mean nothing.
Yes.
That's all you'll be remembered for, is losing 2 finals and not qualifying for the
top
4.
For the Champions League.
And if Chelsea don't beat Leicester tonight, then they're not serious about playing in the UEFA Champions League, because they need 3 points. It's as simple as that. And going up against Leicester, who still...
We've seen teams like Everton, for instance. Everton know they needed to beat Sheffield, who are already relegated. I mean, they lost by a lone goal. Sheffield relegated
they're not serious about playing in Europe.
Then Liverpool, for instance, I mean, it took Alisson to leave his goalpost to go to the other opposition to get a header for them to beat West Bromwich Albion, already relegated. So when you look at what has been playing out, with those teams actually chasing the top 4 and chasing Europe sports, it's only Arsenal that were actually serious, about getting something out.
Chelsea.
You mean Arsenal?
At least Arsenal beat Chelsea.
Why are we talking about Arsenal?
No, I'm just saying, I mean, I'm looking at what has happened from last week till now. Of those teams who are in the top 4, trying to, solidify their spot or stay in the Champions League, and those who are trying to get into Europe.
Chelsea, Leicester tonight. Stamford Bridge, nothing less than 3 points will do for the Blues in their bid to qualify for the UEFA Champions League next season. Before we look at the papers and take some tweets, let's just give you updates coming from the world of boxing. A ruling has been made that Tyson Fury must fight Deontay Wilder in the trilogy before September 15th.
Okay,
and that means the world unification bout between Fury and AJ is on hold. Doubt.
Okay, Tayo, I get
what's coming from Bob Arum, who was a promoter, co-promoter of Tyson Fury, says we're not paying Wilder to step aside. As after acknowledging the arbitration, says we're not paying Wilder to step aside. It's better to get rid of him and go about our business. We can make the Fury-Joshua fight for November or December. It was supposed to be August 14th, just 2 days after Fury announced on social media that this fight was going to go down on the 14th
of August.
in Saudi Arabia. Now we have this. Shemi.
I don't know how I feel about this because the problem we've had as fans with boxing is we don't get to see the big people, the best names fight until a long time, until one of them's out of their peaks, like we saw with Pacquiao and Mayweather. But Fury and Wilder, I would say they're still in their peaks, but we've seen it now. We've seen it twice. We don't really want to see it a third time.
Okay, a trilogy. All right, I don't want to see a trilogy too.
I want to see it.
I don't want to see it. Quickly, we'll just take some tweets before we look at the papers. Lord Alpha says, psychological frustrated, Chelsea may fail to lift up their game tonight against Leicester, who floored them a few days ago in FA Cup. I heard Fatal show finger tiredness that made them lose scandalously. It's still talking about Imber game. Adeleke says, please pray for my team, Man U, this week. Enough is enough from all these disappointments experienced this season. Chelsea fans, how market for losing 2 finals in 2 days. Champions is not for life. The weak become a giant at the expense of pride. What are you saying? Gerard Ikuku says, Hurricane is hungry to leave for Lawrence, just like the way Henry left for Barcelona, all right?
Yeah, but Henry won trophies with Arsenal.
Ejike says, congratulations to Emmanuel Okala, a.k.a. the Iroko, on his 70th birthday. We thank you for the service in Nigeria and Africa. He's celebrating everyone. There's so many coming in. Noble Fire Man, we got your tweets and all, but we need to leave the studio now. We need to leave the studio. We can't take the papers. We are all out of it. But the big story is the fact that Chukwueze in tears because he will not be in Europa League final. All right? Ashemi, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me once again. Thanks. Love coming here. Thank you, guys.
Cheers. Thank you for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Taya Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogwe. Bye for now.